Facts, no really, and you know Hendo gon' tell you the truth. B.I., Mr. Info, you know what we here for, the Old Heads Podcast. Yo, we cover from Dog Shades to the team at the Barclays, the Old Heads Podcast. Yo, from Will scoring 100 to job being wanted, the Old Heads Podcast. Yo, let's go.
Yeah, buddy. Old Heads, episode 82, man. Back in the building. Another great day to be alive. Back in the basement. I'm your co-host, Omar, a.k.a. O'Milly, a.k.a. that dude, a.k.a. Mr. Rello. If you know, you know. And we got another banger show today for you guys. Of course, we're going to be talking about who's going to be winning the Natty, Washington or Michigan. And then, of course, we got to talk about the Chicago Bears and Justin Fields, man. That dominating win over the Falcons. Was that possibly his best game ever? And then, of course, can't talk football without talking about the refs, man. It seemed like they royally screwed over the Lions. What do y'all think should happen? What do y'all think should happen? But, man, before I go any further, I'm going to let these brothers introduce themselves. Another banger show, episode 82. Let's get it in. Old Head.
D.I., man. Old Head, get with us.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man, you know it's Hendo G, a.k.a. French Loaf, a.k.a. Mr. Honeypack himself.
Mr. Honey Pack in the building. So, of course, we got to start with Hendo's hot takes.
Well, I'm sure we're all aware of how the year started as far as social media line.
Yeah,
I guess
Happy New Year's.
Cat Williamson came out and exposed a handful of comedians for not being authentic, original, or just overall not being who they say they is. Among these lines, I believe we'll read off the names of everybody who was critically attacked. Tiffany Haddish. What's my man? Kevin Hart. Cedric the Entertainer. Steve Harvey. Ricky Smiley. I think that pretty much covers it.
Lil Daryl.
Yeah, Lil Daryl, man. I think he might have caught the blunt of the problem for us.
Wait. Michael Blackson, too.
Oh, and Michael Blackson. I never forget about that. I don't really put that high on the list, but well, to me, he's not really just a comedian. He's an actor to me. I've never really talked to him as a real comedian. You know, just a funny actor.
He's funny on stage, though.
Yeah, but he has a certain line of jokes, and that's about it. Let's be honest.
Ricky Smiley do too, shit.
To be honest, I just want everybody to understand, you know, there's been a lot said. Me personally, I think I agree with Kat about 80% of that.
Yeah.
I can't say I 100%. I know some of this was pushed forward to see like bigger propaganda and kind of made to have more speculation and other things. So I know the agenda might have been a little pushed by him. So I'm not believing everything. But as far as some of that joke stealing, Bernie Mac was saying that way back in the day. You don't tell your jokes around these guys. He said, if you go and tell your jokes around a bunch of comedians, you see them in the crowd, you're not going to work in this business very long. And that's a fact. Joke stealing is just how it is. People do it all the time. All the time. So I'm not really surprised Cat exposed this. I'm just kind of mad that he's still kind of bent up about some old jokes. And I know this his jokes and nobody wants to see their material go that way, but jokes get stolen every day, B. And that's a fact. Now that he just kind of seems a little bitter about the jokes being still. If you get money and everything, all them jokes like, yeah, all right, man, you know what you did. You know, I get him airing that out as you're supposed to. But some of it seemed like it was just like, you know, yeah. And he kind of really attacked a few things that we already knew about Steve Harvey. You didn't know that man had a man unit coming off that comedy show. Man unit, I mean, as the hair plug. If you didn't know he had, that's what he called it, the man unit. Okay. Well, you obviously don't watch comedy, people. You know, I've been watching Steve Harvey since over the day. I've never really thought he was incredibly funny. I just thought he was all right. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Cedric. You know, and I can speak on that for a lot of comedians, you know, but Kevin really came out and aired out a lot of people's laundry, and I don't know if that's going to blow over so well going forward because he pulled a lot of people's card. Yeah, I mean, Cat pulled a lot of people's card, and I'm not going to say he want to answer, but some people going to definitely have to speak up. And, I forgot, Ludacris. He said something about Ludacris, too. And Ludacris going to come back with a rap verse. I said, man, listen, dog. Luda, I fuck with you, man. You probably one of my favorite rappers. You know, I'll go up there. He is. When he came out, all that. But man, that wasn't the move, bro. That just wasn't the move. This man said so much about you, and then you came out with a rap verse. You could have came out and just like, look, man, this ain't even Luda no more. This Chris Bridges. All right. What this man saying is wild. And the allegations, you didn't even do that. You just made a rap verse, so I know it had to be something stung to this. The way that hit me, I was like, damn, he might have told the truth. The way I heard it. You know, everybody else responded their own way. You know, I've always thought Steve Harvey and Sid had stole jokes previously. I've heard other entertainers comment on that. Mark Curry has commented on that.
Oh, I've seen the footage.
I've seen it as well. And you know, like I said, some of these guys have had these narratives, and I feel like Cat was 100% right. Some of them have, their careers have alternative agendas. And when they were able to take advantage of it, they did. And now these guys are sitting lavish, but some of these guys might have to pay the bigger price in the long run, you know? And I just don't understand. Like, there was a time where I was watching Steve Harvey give out, you know, marital advice. And I was like, damn, this motherfucker been divorced 3 times.
I have no idea how they
I'm not saying that you got, but you might not have the great. I ain't been married once to have a divorce.
But you know what the tricked out thing about this country is though too, because you can write a book and tell these hoes to think like a man and all that shit, right?
Right.
But the whole thing is you don't have to be an expert to do that. Anybody can do that. Come out with a book.
But it was
especially if you're famous, people are gonna be like, oh, well, what's
it
about?
It was funny to me. Was the credibility push that he got and received out of nowhere, because all of a sudden,
a lot of women
this is
like
this is Oprah's top 5, which is wild to me. Think about it.
They like to talk.
Oprah's top 5 though,
and they love to talk about some shit that we said.
You know what I'm saying? But I feel
they'll make us some shit that we motherfucking said.
I do feel
so they can say that we said
I
some
do
shit
feel him about
so
the dress situation. I do feel him about the dress situation because I also related to some stuff with Eddie Griffin, who also refused to put on the dress as well, and had made a lot of comments about refusing to put on the dress. And we kind of look where his career is right now, and that's now he's funnier than a lot of comedians we just named. Eddie Griffin is hilarious. He's been hilarious for years, but since he didn't want to do what they wanted him to do, I find and feel like they kind of tried to sideline his career. And that's the same thing they did with Cat and, you know, Mike Epps, I feel. But now Mike Epps is getting a little bit more back into it. He has TV shows. But I kind of feel like these guys' careers have been sidelined because they didn't want to put the dress. They didn't want to meet the Hollywood norm and didn't want to do all this weird shit where other guys, I feel, might be a little bit more comfortable just doing what they have to do to get ahead in life. And I felt like Steve Harvey was one of those guys.
I felt like they just mismanaging their career, to be honest. They good at what they are good at, and they aren't good at managing. Like if you're an actor, you know what I'm saying?
I agree.
You don't sign up for 5 and 10 year movie deals. What you do is pick your movies one by one, and you go to the right parties, rub shows to the right people to get put in the right roles. If they ask you, you can always look over a script and say yes or no if you want. But like to be in, you gotta do this movie if you do this movie type of. It's like you dance with the devil or some shit.
But it's crazy when I looked at both Steve Harvey's movies and Cedric's, they have a lot of them together. Just a lot together. All different type of genders, all together though.
TV show, yeah.
I've never known another TV show to have two headlining comedians on the same show. That was always weird if you really think about it. Not like it makes me seem like they needed each other enough to be funny is what I'm saying. I don't think because when they were just decent, but when they got together they were even funnier. Then they split off and then all of a sudden they do Kings of Comedy together.
Yeah. And there could be something to that shit. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be like that. I just say they were two mediocre funny guys to me. I never really pushed them over the top.
I gave them that credit to be Kings of Comedy, knowing there was other guys I thought should have been on that list in the first place, but they wanted to call it that. I gave them that. But Bernie Mac is really what everyone knows. Bernie Mac was the spirit of Kings of Comedy. He was the one catching fire at that time. He was the one that had every place in stitches. You know what I'm saying? Like
and they said Steve was jealous about that because Bernie was able to manifest a joke out of anything given to him.
Well, the comedy game is kind of crazy.
Where at times,
a lot of people think it's a little hood.
Steve struggled with his jokes, and he'll even tell you, I struggled with my jokes for a long time until he started.
Man, Robin Harris did not like D.L. Hughley.
Yeah,
and D.L. Hughley would tell you that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
And
there's certain beefs for some reason amongst the comedic community, but they dudes that's just like us. So like, they gonna scrimp and fight for every little thing that a rapper would, if you think about it. You know what I'm saying? Credibility, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? Being recognized as what they feel they should be recognized as, you know what I'm saying? So like, all these little things, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't think it. What I wrote down earlier and shit, since you took my motherfucking trade yourself, it was Cat Williams, was that it's funny that it's like an oxymoron. He's an angry comedian.
He is.
And it's funny because you got all this money. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird for us to sit back and see you poking at motherfuckers. It's like you the mad rapper or some shit from back in the day. It's like, what are you doing?
But is he wrong or is he right?
The messed up part about it is, it don't matter if you right, you wrong, because you doing what you doing. It's like, that's like asking, what's the name, right or wrong? What was the Bash brother name and shit? You know what I'm saying? McGuire and Canseco. When he wrote that book talking about every damn body and shit, like, okay, you could be right about the information, but you wrong for putting motherfuckers' info out there like that. Really, man, this is locker room talk. You know what I'm saying? Amongst comedians and their community, it seemed like that should be information that all of us.
He said he literally said, if y'all didn't want me to come out here, y'all should have treated me better. This is coming after years of the spite, years of all these guys. I'm not gonna say they was putting his words, but probably dogging them behind the scenes. We don't know what led up to this full eruption. We just seeing the eruption and how it's coming over. And all I'm saying is, there's some things about when Kat said that I felt, and I've always felt, and I'm sure other people felt, but they're not being on 100 about it. But at the same time, this is part of the reason why he blackballed. Don't nobody really feel trustworthy if you're going to spill off. Now, all the top names that we done listed off, you're not finna work with them.
Yeah, no.
That's how, I mean, Mike Epps might do some work with you, but Mike ain't pulling numbers like, he ain't busting no box office. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we seen his last couple of movies. I mean, they funny to us, but they not busting down no box office. Motherfuckers ain't making money. He making money. You know what I'm saying?
He making money, that's right. But yeah, at the same point in time, the notoriety isn't there. And I feel like at this point in time, I feel like he's starting to notice that at a certain point in time in great people's careers, they start thinking about the legend that is them. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think he feels like people like
Kevin
Hart's getting bigger than him, but isn't funnier to him? Because I seen they've had an ongoing little feud here and there, and I think that's a success food, because I think Cat thinks he's funnier than Kevin. That's what I think.
Well, Cat think he's funnier than everybody. The thing about Cat, if you heard him too, how he break down his jokes, he think he's funnier per second than most of these other guys. He thinks he gets more laughs per minute than the average comedian and most of your favorite ones. You know what I'm saying? So with that in mind, yes, he does think he's better than people. I've even heard him say something about Chappelle once. It was like in passing, like the motherfucker didn't read.
He didn't even really relab on. He talked about the Chappelle show, and then like, if y'all think he passed on that 40 mil, y'all crazy. He just did it differently type shit. That's what he kind of mentioned. He kind of gave him a slight props.
Yeah, I was seeing something.
He didn't really mention nothing on.
No,
he kept
talking about
free.
this in passing. If I'm talking about like long before, like
I
heard him like say something in passing, almost like not much, and I didn't hear him double back ever on Dave. But everybody else, he didn't double back and double down on. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just that dude. But yeah, that's my trade to stuff too.
That's Windows hot. So, Bears, we got to talk about. They won and dominated the Falcons this past Sunday. Was this JF1, Justin Fields' best game as a pro, and has him and Eberflus done enough to run it back?
I don't know if that was his best game. It's definitely one of his best stat number games. He did put on a hell of a performance, but man, I also got to put the opponent, in there too. I mean, shit, we talking about a Falcons team that's what? Like, come on, just because you beat on a team that you supposed to kind of whoop on doesn't mean I should give you all the credit. I will take the W out of this, but this is something I already thought we should have been doing at the beginning of the season. Now I gotta wait till the second and last game of the year to see this. I think Justin Fields personally has shown me enough, but I've literally, it's funny, I talked to other Bear fans and they said this next game is going to be a big determination on how they feel about Justin going into the offseason.
What can he show you to be like, okay, for sure?
A W.
Just a W.
A W.
At this point in time, I'm not
Do
sure.
something you ain't did yet.
Me.
A W.
I'm not sure they show me anything.
And that's what they call me for. I'm telling you, listen, I've talked to other Bears fans.
I was trying to be cool.
I've talked. This ain't coming just from me. This ain't me. I think Justin's a man.
In a whole year.
Listen,
he even wanted
I
to
think
trade
Justin's a man.
Since this
but
show
listen,
started.
What I'm saying, and I had to put it on here because I told my Bear buddies I was gonna put it on here.
Since the show started.
I told my Bear buddies I was gonna say
and
it.
Now I feel like you're not wrong.
But they said a lot comes down for this Packer game for them. Now for me, I feel Justin's done enough for me personally. A personal opinion, Justin's done everything I need to see for me.
Okay.
Matt Eberflus, he started to pull together. I believe more in him. Who I do not believe in is Luke motherfucking Getsky. He's the gray area.
He's the weak link.
He's the if you look at a brain that has damage in it and it's that dark gray area, that's where he is. He's that dark gray area, the damaged part. We got a good functioning brain, and here comes this dark gray matter over here. He the dark gray matter. He got to get his ass the fuck up out of here.
Man, he a plant by Jim
How
Harbaugh.
you feel, Bill?
He said,
Hey, you know what, man? He a plant by Jim Harbaugh. You want to know what? You want to know what I think? This is the first time you ever gonna hear me ever clearly say this shit. This nigga was right. Hey man, ever since this goddamn show started, this motherfucker been saying, "Oh man, we might have to get rid of this nigga." This nigga, he was wrong about that. He ain't gonna be in the league part in 3 years. That was a little overboard. I ain't forget that part.
I said that was hyperbolic.
It was definitely hyperbolic. Yeah. Same point in time though. You might have to move on. We got some decent picks here. It seemed like we can rework some shit, especially since he is having a couple good games. That's when you can go ahead and see what that trade market is about. Maybe we can shore up the line or do some other shit, fill some other needs, and then in the draft go after some.
I mean, there was only really 4 teams that was talking about giving us something to play for him.
And
the Jets,
okay,
Raiders,
okay,
Broncos,
all right,
Falcons.
What are their offensive lines look like? Do they have any players that we can use?
And that's the whole thing. Line? But that's the whole thing. The only people we can really get off the Jets, their O-line is struggling. We might be able to find a piece like a center in there, but them niggas is struggling the O-line. Okay, the only thing they got is receivers to me.
It's all about the mother 3 teams.
Okay, let's go Broncos. I mean, we could possibly get. I don't think they're gonna come up off Jared Judy. All right, so boom. I don't think they're gonna come off any of the defense because everything's working up. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even care about skill positions. I'm caring about offensive linemen and picks.
Falcons. They the only one gonna have that because
the only thing that's gonna matter is sure enough the offensive line, drafting a young quarterback, drafting Harrison Jr. if you can get both of them.
But I think that's
new look.
I think at that point right now we coming into a hard facade because that's not going to match up. There's either going to be one of the two we can look at and be honestly about ourselves as Bear fans. We can either look at whoever we wanted that quarterback pick. No, I'm just saying because of where we fall for that second, where our second pick is going to be, we're not going to get Harrison Jr. We're either going to get a quarterback or we're going to get I just don't think it's going to fall to where we get a quarterback and a receiver. Because when it goes by these other teams, okay, you still got to run by some other teams. There's some teams hawking that are just a receiver away is what I'm saying. Don't let him go to Washington because they will pick him up and they are number 3.
Hell yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I push the narrative that we can either get
the number 1 pick though.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So either at that pick, we can either go QB or we can go QB, receiver, or trade down. That's our only 3 options. Now the only options that I seen that made sense to me, and this just made sense if just hear me out to the full. We keep Justin Fields, okay? We signed Justin Fields for a 2-year contract, whatever it is, something minute, 3-year, but not a full 4-year, all right? Or make it a 4th-year option or whatever the fuck it is. Something like that I'll be good with. The reason saying that, all right, if we go into this draft, we have DJ Moore, we take that pick, we trade down to New England, we take their spot, we get haul of picks. We get picks from them, okay? Then we take that spot, we trade that motherfucker down to the one behind that too. We get their spot and a haul of picks. Then we get the wide receiver we want. Then we go O-line. While doing that, we're building an O-line and we have receivers. At this point, given the next 2 years where other people's contracts are going to be coming up, good quarterbacks, who knows where like Herbert's or anybody, I'm just saying, other decent quarter tool, we don't know if they're going to be locked in. at any time, a year or two, we could literally insert any quarterback that can throw the ball and handle themselves because we have a line and we have solid receivers and a solid tight end that you know you can count on. Solid pieces. Build the pieces. Worry about that quarterback here in a little bit.
That's what I'm like. That's an option. Anything
because we have the picks. It's the hall of the picks.
That got something to do with the offensive line and that shit.
But it's the number of picks because we'd be looking at potentially 2 to 3 picks from each one of those move backs. And we don't know if those picks are going to land us this year, next year, or the year after that. And they could be high-ranking picks because some of these teams are in damage. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, a New England team, all right? New England ain't looking good, and they in the rebuilding stage. Their next year, they're probably not going to look good. So, if we get their pick, high. That's all that I'm saying. I'm kind of thinking like that. I kind of see where Poles would build with something. You stay with Fields, you build the identity right now, and make the trades. Switching up quarterbacks, I think, would fuck up the fan base and it'll fuck up a lot of things. And I'm not saying, but then we'll start losing a little bit of trust in Foles. We don't want to go back, or Poles. We don't want to go back to the previous ownerships where we lost complete trust. We were just spending frivolous money and had no picks to do shit with.
We ain't on that right now. Poles got us in a different direction.
You say keep Fields and Eberflus. What about Eberflus?
I keep Eberflus for one more year. I think he's working out a new offensive quarterback, and we still yet to find a defensive coordinator.
You say keep Fields?
I don't even know what the fuck my answer is. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I've been saying offensive coordinator the whole damn time, but I'm not a big fan of Eberflus. And at this point in time, what's the name can go? The quarterback, Justin can go. Okay. To be very honest, I mean, I'm not invested anymore.
Gotcha.
But I'm always like this at the end of the season, man. At the end of the season, I'll be getting mad. Like
I'm invested. I'm invested.
Like I'll be mad. Like
I
ain't watching no more.
One thing should be mad about the Lions. Ref royally screwed the Lions. What should happen to refs if their negligence costs a team to lose, especially in football, which we all know is a game of inches? What do you guys think should happen?
I think refs should be held to a liable fine, if not individual refs or how the unit. I think how refs work is they work in a unit as a team, and certain groups of teams, certain crews, referential crews get called out for certain games. I've seen where certain crews weren't allowed to do playoffs or championships games because they were bad officials. So they were like doing preseason games and warm up and stuff like that and get better. They were doing more of them. So with that being said, I think the officiating crew should have a small fine because at that point, all the refs come over, they combine on this, and they go on one consensus at the end at the call they feel was deemed right. They all come together as a crew. They all make the decision. I think they should all get a small fine. I'm not going to act like this should be a large detrimental fine because they already probably just make minimum wage. But if you do make a mistake, just like if you make a mistake in basketball and football, you stand to have a small fine of some sort. And if you have too many fines at the end of a season, you should have to go to like a referee camp or some shit like that. Or just something to in on your skills or 50 hours of football footage or something where you have to watch this is good, this is bad, this is good, that type shit. To up your skills.
To stay in this league.
To get your skills.
Yeah, something
like a CDL license. You got to that shit
up.
I feel the same way. You know what I'm saying? I said, the motherfuckers got to make a statement. I want the motherfuckers to, like, you have to stand in front of the TV and be like, y'all fucked that up, man. You know what I'm saying? Got their name on the bottom of the bitch. Oh, man, Scott Van Pelt, that's what you do. You fuck these bitches up.
Officiating crew.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But, like, even if they don't have to make a public statement and put their name on every motherfucking thing, yeah, my point was, if your ass have to make 2 statements, your ass getting fined. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much the fine gonna be, whether it is some little.
No, it's the crew. It's the crew. So whatever they get paid, whatever they get paid as a whole, you officiate. It should go to all of them. Because like I said, everybody on that officiating crew got to feel it a little bit because when they come together, when they meet up over there, like, man, was that shit a catch? And like, shit, that was a catch. All right, we're going with her. Calling on the ruling on the field. This was a catch.
I like the idea of sending their ass back to motherfucking referee camp too. Shit, if that's what it takes, shit.
You gotta go to college. You gotta go referee a college game.
Hey, if you get something,
I need 12 college games out you for free.
Hey, man, I'm gonna need you to figure this out, man. If you want to stay, man. Could just kick you up out of here.
We could just kick you up out of here.
I think we understand. I know I personally understand refs are human. They make mistakes, and we've all made them. Also understand and respect the NFL acknowledge, the mistakes they made. They normally say something after a game. What I can't rock with is the lack of accountability that the ref receives. I think the same way ESPN could talk about Kadarius Toney, his drops, they should put that ref name out there, because when you think about it, like that Lions ref, something like that, I also agree. I think fine should be the first thing. Like if they have to,
you gotta get fined.
If the NFL the next day has to say, you want to know what? Yes, that was a catch. That I can't think of the Dallas receiver.
Dez caught it.
That Dez Bryant. Yes, that was a catch. Cool. That ref or that officiating crew will be fined. Their names, blah. It doesn't have to be all day long, but it should. Their name should be out there, right? But then I also think if a ref is found per se lying, like in that Lions game where he was pretty much found like what the players are saying, he said this and the ref pretty much lied, then I think in that case that ref should be fired.
Yeah. So there's levels to this shit.
I don't think that flag should have been thrown.
Slow.
That's what I think. That's what I think. I think that was just a fraudulent flag to be thrown at that time. You know what I'm saying? If I look at you and sometimes it's just like the receivers, when they do it, they just look over and they nod or throw their hands up. So if I look over to them and I'm look up like, yo, and I say it, he should be listening for me. So the fact that the ref acknowledged that he knew he was talking to me should let you know something was fucking said. Regardless if he heard what I said.
That Lions game though, they was over there talking to the referee though. Like, what else are these niggas over here talking to you about? Like, what else? Because it was the quarterback and like two linemen and shit.
Yeah, I mean,
what else?
What are you telling me?
I mean, no. What happened was the ref got confused because typically Dan Campbell was being it was actually a great play. Typically, only one person one lineman goes over and say something to the ref. Mm-hmm. Well, the defense can automatically see that. So what Dan Campbell was, he sent 3 offensive linemen over there.
Right.
So the ref got it confused, the one guy that said it.
Oh.
He got it confused and said, oh, no, it was 68 that told me. When he was like, no, it was me. I was the one that told you. And instead of saying, oh, my bad, it wasn't it was 68, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what it was, because typically only one guy go over there. Yeah. But Dan Campbell didn't want them to know
the flag
what
shouldn't have
offensive
been
lineman it was.
Right, which one it was.
You know what I'm saying?
The flag shouldn't have been thrown.
Only one of them talked to the ref. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fine, man. You get fined. It's your negligence. You couldn't remember which one said to you. That's on you. The flag should have been picked up.
Fine, and in my opinion, like, and if he found out that he lied about it, then I think you should be fired. And the reason for that is that one call is not only can cause a coach and his family food off the table, but that entire staff, because you lied about a play and one, you know what I'm saying, they didn't want to be mad about it.
Well, you know what I mean? Gamblers was mad. I mean, motherfuckers had them betting motherfuckers, the Lions covering the spread, and like, shit.
One guy actually just bought a Bentley because he bet Joe Flacco would come back and lead the Browns. I'm bullshitting. Lead the Browns to
that one even on the betting
to the playoffs. But we do gotta ask: is it possible that Joe Flacco, with his comeback so far this year, can he steal that from DeMar Hamlin of the Bills?
Nah, I don't think so, man. You know, I know Flacco came out and did his thing, but he played like a handful of games, maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah, I mean, we have Flacco. Flacco right now has made some good throws, some key moments. But when you look at his overall numbers, he has in 5 games, 1,616 yards, 13 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and he has a QBR 47.8.
Oh, man.
But he did have three 300-yard games.
He did. He went and did that. He had that. I don't know if that's going to bring enough to.
But Hamlin's only played 5 games this season. I believe he has two total tackles, maybe 5.
Well, I mean, shit, boy, that nigga damn near died. That nigga just made the best comeback to life.
I'm trying to say, it's kind of hard to beat.
Boy, your ass is sending pictures with the thumbs up tweets. Boy, your ass is fucked up, man. Your ass back in there. Come on, man. Joe wasn't on ER because of his injuries. Nobody want to pick Joe ass up. He wasn't smoking Joe no more. He came back inspired, man. That nigga trying to play like, he's like, shit, Aaron did it.
What if he take him to the Super Bowl?
Man, shit, boy, that motherfucker can get comeback of the year, boy. He gonna get the what's my man? He gonna get the Nick Foles award.
Nick Foles. Oh, wow. Nah.
Nick Foles award. Like, look, man, listen.
But as of right now, I mean,
and he gonna hand it to him. Like, here you go.
So how many wins in the playoffs would he need? 1, 2, get him to the conference championships.
Stop entertaining this nonsense,
bro.
Man.
Cleveland is nice, and
I ain't not finna be in the. Come on, man. We talking about
if he get them to
we talking about when teams get real, man.
I'm entertaining this question.
Oh, Lord. I just knew somebody was gonna fall for the bait. God damn.
But if he's actually in the AFC motherfucking championship game in motherfucking Buffalo, you know, fizzle out, they don't do shit, some wild card loss, some bullshit or something, then I mean that may actually matter a little bit. I mean, if especially depending on what he does in those
come
games.
in and play the Texans, and y'all gonna lose y'all mind when they beat the Texans. Like I told y'all, like I told you this, and they get their ass busted.
First of all, that would not happen. The Texans will beat Cleveland if they play them. So that's the end of Flacco's run.
That's what I'm saying. That's all that I'm. That's all that I'm saying.
DeMar Hamlin.
Them niggas running to the Jaguars, they gonna have trouble.
Because DeMar Hamlin,
he came back from death. I feel like that's
mama, no, he was just dancing at Jesus' door. Fuck you mean?
Yeah, I think what DeMar Hamlin is doing is the embodiment of mental fortitude to even train your mind to get back on the field, knowing that your next hit can literally kill you, and you still buckle up your chin strap. I think it's next level gangster. In my personal opinion, I think they personally should name the award the DeMar Hamlin Award. In my personal opinion, I think he's exactly what a comeback player of the year is. I think
feel like
the
that
award
can
is
get
tailor-made.
Every time you present that award every year, it's just somebody thinking about a life or death situation. You know?
I mean, you would hope not. I mean, but it's football. I mean, they say how many? What does it feel like? How many car crashes when you play a football game?
We don't talk about it that much. This is a constant reminder every year which player's gonna survive life.
Man, and it starts early, man. You figure Pop won high school, and of course college. We got a big college game coming up. The Natty this year, Michigan versus Washington. If Harbaugh win, is he a lock to go to the NFL? And who do you think will win, Michigan or Washington? Who wants to kick that off?
Oh man, I think Michigan got this. To be honest with you, I think it's that year.
They feel like it.
Yeah. I mean, Washington looks amazing. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like this is all just. Yeah, this is all.
Washington?
I got Washington.
I feel like it might be Michigan. Man.
Yeah. Then he says Washington.
Yeah, I said that. I definitely said that. Hey man, I do feel like it's the year too, man. Michigan, man. But you want to know what else? I don't know.
Michael Penix throws a beautiful.
He do, man. He do.
Beautiful football. He's a great kid.
He's the one he's the only one that I'm really looking at in this draft that I'm like, man, damn.
Yep.
He the one make me double think. That's if there was anybody in the draft right now, it's gonna be Penix. Just because I know Dog is a game changer right now. Dog is a difference maker. If they went and drafted Dog, I'd be like, you know what? I'm not too mad with that.
Okay.
I fuck with Justin.
But
Penix is fucking nice though, man. Dog is nice. I fuck with Justin tough though, because this shit that Justin does, and I don't know what Penix can do right now, and that's like dodge 15 niggas. Wow. No. I'm not gonna
go there, bro.
I've watched him do it on a college level, but watching Dog do it like against professionals, like actual niggas like Miles Garrett and Javion Clowney and other guys like that. These guys are good. These motherfuckers are good at what they do, and this motherfucker goes underneath him and then dodge another motherfucker and run for 20 yards. That's still, on a professional level, that's still what catches my eye, I guess. You know, that's why it's so tough for me to get over this Justin matter. But I do like Penix a lot. We'll just note that.
What would you rate Caleb then, like third?
To me, I'd have Caleb as probably like a tight second. I don't think Drake Mays is better than Caleb Williams, to keep it honest. I think he's a very nice prospect if he can get into the right system. Like, if he gets around a good good head coach, a good offensive-minded head coach, he'd be nice. But Caleb Williams, he's probably just ready to go. He's a good package. No matter, he doesn't need a lot of coaching up. He just needs a little bit of tone and development.
So you think Washington?
Yeah, Washington gonna win, but I feel like Harbaugh, if he win, I feel like he might stay. I don't know.
I think this is where it's a little conflicting because I'm now seeing Michigan is trying to get him back, but I don't know if that little situation out there is all the way behind him. I think there's some issue with him in the NCAA, not so much.
Yeah, if they want to hand down some motherfucking punishment.
Why am I going to stick around?
Exactly.
Why am I going to stick around for this goofy shit?
Exactly.
When I can literally go over and he's been having ties.
And pick whatever team I want.
Well, they really has ties with the Raiders. The Raiders said they're really going to really heavily pursue getting him right now if it's not.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Man, fuck.
Yeah.
You say Washington?
Yeah.
Michigan?
Michigan.
I think Michigan will win as well because Washington guard, they have a stud guard that's projected to go in the second round. He's going to be out. He actually could be the first pure guard selected with another gentleman who they might have projected as a tackle, but they think he'll play guard. I can't think of his name right now, but they think he'll play guard in the league. Washington air raid is key to their success and keeping Penix upright and allow him to get the ball to Roma Dunze and other stud receivers. But that's the problem. The way Michigan can get pressure up the middle, I don't think Washington's faced a physical defense like this all season. It won't be easy, but I say Michigan 28-21. But I think Michael Penix, chill. Sorry about that. But I think Michael Penix will have his C.J. Stroud moment and solidify himself as the second best QB in the draft behind Caleb. Harbaugh is, if they win or lose, I think he will be gone. He recently hired an agent who has close ties to the NFL, and that same agent is responsible for getting Sean Payton $90 million from Denver. Speculated he wants a similar deal on $100 million, which I think with his resume he'll probably get. The Chargers is one team that I think would be more than happy to make that move, or even a team that I think people aren't talking about enough is the Raiders, who've shown that they're not afraid to spend money, a la John Gruden. So I think Harbaugh, I think he's definitely gone. I think hiring the agent having ties to the NFL is just more of an indication of that.
That's why they should spend the money and get a real fucking coach out there. Because, I mean, fuck that, because I don't really want the Raiders to get him. I would love if he came and coached the Bears or something, and then, got
it's not gonna happen.
from Washington. Yeah. I'm just saying this is my dream.
Yeah,
well, at the same point in time, though, yeah, man, because why the hell John Gruden ain't been nothing but the successor to another great coach every time, and he just take over great teams and enjoy the success that was all the blueprint to some shit that was already there before he got there. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, if they paid that motherfucker a whole bunch of money, maybe they should be trying to pay a whole bunch of money to a real coach.
Well, I think the Raiders are in like desperate need of a lot of things, and sometimes it's scouting. And I'm not gonna say the scouting over there is bad because they seem to keep getting some type of talent over there, but they don't have nobody to really micromanage the talent. And I think the way that Harbaugh wants to run his organization, he has to get his claws and everything. He has to have his hand on everything. And I think they're willing enough to give up some of that.
Before you get ahead of yourself, I gotta ask: do you think Harbaugh is the most successful coach ever when you look at his success in the college and the pros?
I think he has to be considered at least one of them because I've watched this man develop all-star players on both a collegiate and a professional level.
So you say you think he's if there's a coaching draft and every coach from college is available, every coach from the NFL is available, is Jim Harbaugh going number one? No matter
I don't know if I can put
do
him.
they have to coach in both?
Yeah,
they have to have coached in both.
No, you need.
And see, that's where it's tough
you
because
need to be able to coach in both.
Because
you need to be able to coach.
Yeah,
but see now,
yeah.
then
Is he going number one?
Then you flirt with things like, okay, you got Bill Belichick now, right? Then you got Nick Saban.
But we never saw.
Right.
But that's why we never saw what he's done. In
No,
college.
right. But then we got Nick Saban.
We
You
saw
know what I'm
he
saying?
did in the NFL.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But
That's what I'm saying.
his collegiate record though is what got him to the. He had such a good collegiate.
College. If you
That's
have to
what I'm
draft
saying.
one right now, a coach, and he got to coach in both. Who you taking?
Well, I'd probably
coach young men and grown men.
I'd probably grab Jim. I mean, he'd be up there in my look. You know what I'm saying? I still always think about Doug Peterson though too though. You know what I'm saying?
Doug Peterson.
Just because he hasn't won with the Jaguars doesn't, I mean, like the chip or anything with him and stuff doesn't take my mind off how he works though. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe he was successful as a college and an NFL coach in my eyes.
I like Doug Peterson.
That's what I'm saying. I gotta have him up in my mix though too.
I'm fucking with Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson won in college and he won in the NFL.
Okay.
So I'm telling you, I feel like he can coach young men and he can coach grown men.
What about what about Lovey?
The Fighting Illini? Man, stop.
College football.
This dude here.
College football.
The Texans.
The allegiance to the blue and orange.
The
College football finally has a playoff system, but only 4 teams can make it.
A natural allegiance
can make it. Can make it next year. I believe it goes to 12 teams. What would you guys do to improve the college football playoff system so that undefeated teams like Florida State don't miss the playoffs despite having a perfect record and being a top 5 power conference team?
More teams, man. You need more teams.
I mean, so what would you do?
Set it up like the motherfucking college basketball tournament, but less teams. I'd say like 30 of them. Because it can't be that many teams. Half them teams fall out either ain't ready or going to get hurt or some crazy
I think that's going to be too much because I think you break it down in a 4-way bracket, a 4-way separate bracket. You let everybody like literally break it up like how the NBA would do. When you got northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. No matter what you come out, whatever your top record is, you get balloted. If you have an undefeated record, you automatically got a spot in the bracket. You'll play whoever, and they jam up kind of like NCAA does with the big bracket. But we're not doing kind of like it is, but instead we're working upwards instead of left to right. You know what I'm saying? They work right, inwards. We try to do it like that. You meet up. These top 2 teams compete, whatever. These 2 top teams meet, whoever. Boom.
I'm glad you said that because my next point was like when you start the season, no more top 25, like a top at least 30. At least 30 or more, because you gotta be more eyes on different teams from the beginning. Guys that have a chance, not no division whatever teams and nothing like that. But the guys that, and I know it's gonna be hard to predict, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But like it's guys at the end that's like real close, and we like, well, damn, we been watching them all season.
Well, in that way, you can say, look, I'm top 25 in the Southeast bracket.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I like that shit.
Like East and West or AFC,
right.
NFC, if there's a way to maybe involve a couple more teams, but split it up.
Now you can still have whatever tournaments that y'all have, whatever. Yeah. But when at the end your end record gets put into this pool, and then now you're in this bracket. Now, however, what it is, you want to go by like point scales on where your placing in the bracket is. I can dig that too. We add up all your points, and your points beat out their points right here. We'll put you at this part right here. You can see their points, and they was equal to you, so that y'all see each other. Yeah. Boom, y'all play each other first one.
That's why. That's always confused me with college, is because it's not about winning or losing. It's more about how you win. Florida State went undefeated in a Power 5 conference, but because their quarterback got hurt, they didn't even get a chance to play for the Natty because the gatekeepers were predicting a blowout, which is bad for ratings and, of course, bad for college football in general. Now, what I think the NCAA should do is at the end of the season, after all the conference finals have been played, instead of waiting 3 weeks to a month to play the playoffs, I think in between that month, that final top 25 poll, have all those teams play in a playoff style bracket, in a bracket style playoffs. So the number 1 seed will automatically, they'll have a bye because it will be uneven. You will have 13 teams and 12 teams on one side. So what you would do is that number 1 seed, to make it even, they get a bye. So then it's 12 teams and 12 teams. And then we're gonna go from there. The final 4 games, those will be the bowl. We can still have bowl games. Like, there'll still be bowl games, but I'll reduce that. We don't need 25, 50 million bowl games.
That's just ridiculous.
We can reduce
four bowl games per conference. Each one is a conference. North, the North, East,
sure.
Northwest. 4 bowl games poured. If you make it to your bowl game, that's it. I'm sick of having goddamn it 1,300 fucking the Sprint Bowl, the goddamn Doritos Bowl, the macaroni and cheese bowl, the Sprite Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, the Rose Bowl. God damn. Come on.
Absolutely, I completely agree, and I think in the Rose Bowl, which is the oldest bowl game of them all.
Yeah,
that should be one of the top 4.
That should be the championship game.
That's what
the Rose Bowl in Pasadena should absolutely. Whether it's the number 1 seed against the number 16 seed, but I think from a marketing standpoint, that will be brilliant because you have a lot of people who, in general, don't watch football or don't watch sports until the playoffs. Yeah. So you have that entire month of pretty much where basketball is just kind of really getting kicked into gear. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that would be the highlight, to have the playoffs on a Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? And could you imagine a number 8 seed? You know what I'm saying, going up against a number 2 seed, or how about you got a number 24 seed, Air Force. This is the first time in the playoff, and no one knows how to play them because they're playing this certain type of style, and if they make it. You know, right? You know, but I really think
some of that.
Yeah, I really think that would
like
be
March Madness.
Yeah, exactly,
going down.
Exactly. And I really and December around the holiday time.
You know what I'm saying?
You
know how they got how many gaps. You see how many gaps it is.
Yeah.
Then how you waiting like a week here and there and shit for the game.
That's what I'm saying.
It's gonna fill up all that time.
None of that.
You know
so I mean, that's what I would personally do. NCAA, I know y'all watch old heads. Holla at me. I will help y'all.
Bounce some ideas off each other.
We will help y'all figure it out for a small fee.
He said for a small fee.
For a small fee.
We come as a group package.
Yeah, it's definitely a group package. But one thing that seems to be a group package is the women of ESPN. Now, Kimberly A. Martin got in some trouble for critiquing our brother Cam Newton and his clothes, along with his knowledge of the NFL and his opinion on game managers and game changers. What are your thoughts on her comments and on women speaking about football in particular? Is it a place for them, or should guys only cover the sport? Ladies, y'all let us know too, man.
I think there's always respective room for the ladies' criticism about a sport that they also watch. I think there's a lot of females that watch a lot of sports like guys do. You know, my old lady watched a lot of sports with me. She knows a lot about players on both the football. I mean, I've showed her stuff, but this is one of our tests. She ain't the sharpest on game. She ain't gonna put you up on nothing, but she understands what's going on. And I'm not gonna say I'm taking her gambling tips about things, but she has a love for the game. But far as somebody who has never played the sports at all, it's hard for me to say that you have a very good view. You can view what the media and the TVs and what you see, but if you've never actually played the sport of football, it's kind of hard for me to take your advice and your critiqueness about a sport you've never played in, as far as where you're thinking your advice is higher than what an actual guy who actually played the sport, went to college for it, was successful in college, was successful in high school, was successful in the NFL, and played at the best level of competition you can play at. Even went to a Super Bowl. Didn't win shit, but went there. And that's more than a lot of quarterbacks that I've seen who a lot of people say are good, even make it. So if he has something to tell you about the sport, you should just really shut the fuck up and listen. And that goes for guys too, just not the females, anybody in general. This guy played the position, was successful at the position. And what y'all want to do is sit here and criticize his words because he didn't have the highest stats or anything. He had winning seasons. Nobody's talking about his win-loss record. I just see he throw this many interceptions. Okay, that's cool, but he was out there throwing the motherfuckers. Where was you? If you did not play in his era and you did not play against him, why is you sitting to him? And that's why I feel like Shannon was a little off, because Shannon, you played out there, but your era was different. This man was successful too. Give this man his dues, man. I'm sick of everybody trying to take shots at Cam like he just was a scrub or something. This man was successful on 2 stages. Give this man some respect about his word. If he tell y'all about some things, maybe y'all should listen. Now, I understand it's your job to pull back, but why is y'all on ESPN or anything even talking about Cam Newton and he running his own show? Why is his mouth even in your name? Or, you know what I'm saying? Why is his name in your mouth? What is y'all? Why is y'all worried about what dude's saying? Let him talk about what he talks. Y'all worried about this wrong shit. Y'all poking a bear.
When people say something, they put it out there in public. This is how it is nowadays. If you say something, somebody can say something about what you said. And they can feel however they want to feel about it. And they can say whatever they want to say about it. The same way we talking about Cat Williams, it's the same. He wouldn't say something, we can say something.
So what are your thoughts on it then? You feel like
I'm telling you my thoughts right now.
Okay.
Old girl ass, whether you like it or not, she can say whatever the hell she want to say because ESPN gave her a job. So she be on TV. So whether she was at home somewhere or at a bar somewhere saying it or on camera saying it, she can say whatever she want to say like everybody else can nowadays. She just so happened to say the shit.
That shit valid. I'm just saying, like, listen.
The second thing is his clothes were questionable, and I believe we all will agree with that. Okay.
Every single goddamn thing he wears is questionable. Everything he wears.
She got a point.
I watched this man came out with a goddamn assassin hat and a scarf. I was confused. I'm not saying, but like for this,
like the type of nigga to have a stylist.
I could say, listen, I had no qualms. I had no qualms for her calling the obvious. The outfit was atrocious. A lot of his outfits are atrocious.
There's too many scarves.
All the time. This nigga's the black Johnny Depp. I don't know what he's wearing. I don't know. But as far as him, where he says about the management, you can criticize what he opinion on his word, but I don't want y'all attacking him as the player, because as soon as they attacked his word, they attacked him for his player. Like, what did he do? He did this, woo woo. That man was an athlete, and if you want to discredit his words, cool, but don't discredit the player. That's all I'm saying. That man was out there putting the shoulder pads on. Y'all motherfuckers what? Don't discredit that man as a player. He has advice to give. He played the game. Now, you can talk about how he feels that managed game changers and game managers. Y'all can attack that. But then, like I said, right where they got on, well, he only threw for 3,000 yards once in 1 year. And where the fuck that come from, though? Get on what his words was, not the player. You try to attacking him as a player. Don't attack dog as a player. That's where shit got fouled. Shorty, you ain't never put on those shoulder pads. You putting on heels and some makeup. This man was out here getting how many car crashes? How many say it goes? He went through a car crash, still came and played football, and then got hit, and then ran like a fullback. Come on, man.
The problem with what Ken was saying, if you check it all out, is that he was mentioning something. I feel like some of the dudes
they mentioned was
questionable.
I think
he was saying he was a game manager and he was a game changer.
I think that's what it was.
I feel like that's what it was, and that's why they took his comments the way they did, because they like, nah, man, we don't believe. You know what I'm saying? We don't believe what you're saying. It's true. Like,
but then they try to say they try to say that he was a game manager, and he told him he was a game changer. That's what a lot of it came into too.
But any good quarterback goes through phases where you do both. So, and everyone knows.
But I kind of agree with him though. If that's the case, then attack that. She went to instantly attacking his character. And saying that, and basically comparing him to the same guys that be on IG or whatever, telling her to stay in the kitchen, comparing their opinion to a guy that was that was MVP.
That's what I'm saying. Come on, man.
You know,
show some respect to that man. I feel like
so you feel like women should be able to speak on football regardless.
I feel like B.I. said, no matter what, they can state their opinion. They have a valued opinion, and they can talk about. Anybody can say anything they want. You know what I'm saying? However you take their opinions on you and stuff like that. I feel like some ladies do have a value. I'm out here watching female coaches, like for the Rams and stuff, a female assistant coach. You know, let's not forget about all that. We are watching ladies coming here and, you know, help out some things and have some value opinions about the game of football. I'm not doubting that. But as far as like sports analysts that question, you know, other players and what they've done on the field and their character, there's no room in any of that for me. Especially when I see the same color doing it to the same color.
Gotcha.
There's other women out there that irk me more than that, like Molly Karam. I'm sorry.
I get it, but it's like he attacked your word, so you attack him as a player,
Molly.
not his word though.
Oh, wow.
Like attack his word,
Yeah.
attack his words.
Absolutely. We're gonna pivot a little bit, man. Final segment of the day. I'm actually interested to hear what you brothers gonna say. Man, y'all out there, man, don't be dusty. Like and subscribe. Old Head Sports Podcast on YouTube. Also, Hendo, CEEHENDO. We need y'all to like and subscribe, man. It's a new year. You don't want to be a dust bunny to start the year off, okay? Like and subscribe, Old Heads. Y'all, hey, y'all let us know too, man. Gotta let y'all brothers know. Now, if NIL deals were always a thing, name the top 5 college athletes who would have made the most money in college if they stayed all 4 years. Y'all out there let us know too. Hendo, you know how we do it. At number 5, Hendo, who do you got?
Vince Young,
Oh,
Texas,
Texas.
quarterback, 06 Rose Bowl.
Okay.
okay.
That's
Okay.
some dirty money too, boy.
That's
Football.
yeah, I was Texas.
Dirty, boy.
That, woo.
Texas dirty money.
Number 5, B.I., who you got?
I'm going AI.
Wow.
AI was a hell of an attraction, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
People love AI the second they seen it.
Wow.
And he was crazy in that Georgetown system.
I don't know
That's
how
what it is.
marketable he would have been back then though.
Back then,
No tattoos yet? He ain't had no long hair, he had a little fade.
Now type shit.
Yeah, NIL, you got to think college.
Yeah, I'm thinking like now for some reason you say NIL.
Yeah.
But motherfucking back then though, yeah, maybe some people may not want to touch them.
Yeah.
Maybe.
At number
It's
5,
risque.
yeah, it's risque. I mean, I definitely would have.
You don't get some of that money, though.
So the NIL deal is risky in
At
general.
number 5,
Mm-mm.
I went with for one, the school he went to, clean cut, and it was a champion, Christian Laettner.
Okay.
I think Christian Laettner would have made a shit ton of money.
Okay, you
in
took
college.
somebody off my list. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's all good. I had 3 honorable mentions. You know what I'm saying? It's okay.
That's what you got to do.
You know what I'm saying? I got 3 honorable mentions. You know
I
what
come
I'm
with
saying?
backup. All right, yeah, I got extra shells.
You know what I'm saying? Straight up, I'm sure that's going to happen.
Christian Laettner. I think
That's
being Duke, clean
cool.
cut,
Oh,
tall,
Yeah.
Caucasian brother.
From the Mountains of Caucasus.
Yeah, from the Mountains of
Mountains of
Caucasus.
Shout out to
And
Cat Williams.
they won too.
Yeah.
And they did it against brothers.
And
Christian
and
Laettner would
he's
have
maybe
made.
the best college player ever.
Yeah.
Maybe.
At number 4,
He's in the debate.
you want it is. We will be
For
talking. We
regular.
will be talking college basketball next weekend. He's at number 4. Hendo.
Ron Dane out of Wisconsin, second all-time leading rush in the NCAA rushing yards.
Man, what the fuck?
Ron Dane, if he would have stayed, dog, then they would have been crushing shit.
You mean making money?
Hell yeah.
You think so? Okay. Ron Dane, okay.
The only reason I say that is I watched that man play. That dog was a beast.
Yeah.
If he would have stayed there, he would have been the best. Listen, there's only one other brother that beat him out, and he just beat him out. like 2018 type shit. Dog, he was killing the game.
Number 4, B.I., who you got?
I'm gonna go ahead and say Dwayne the Pearl Washington from Syracuse. That motherfucker was a show. That's the thing.
I like that.
I'm going ahead
And
say
everybody liked the Pearl.
Yeah, everybody liked the Pearl.
Everybody liked the Pearl.
Hey, you gotta like the Pearl.
If,
I had to come back off the.
I like that. I like that. If NIL deals are always a thing, top 5 athletes who would make the most money in college if they stayed all 4 years. And number 4 for me, I had to go with great weather, always primetime games. They won a lot of games, championships. Good looking kid. Reggie Bush. Pause. No homo.
I thought about it.
Reggie Bush, I think, would have made a shit ton of money.
I thought you
That
was
was-
about to say something.
That was literally my number 3. We good,
Reggie
bro.
Bush would have
I
made
got
a
backups.
lot of money.
bet
I
you
got backups.
You
Reggie
got
Bush would have made a
backups.
lot of money if NIL deals
Okay.
were a thing.
I'm about to say y'all
Hendo, number
one.
3, who you got?
Tim Tebow.
Okay, that's a good one.
He was making some motherfucking bread.
I'm gonna have to-
They loved, like you said, he was just a quarterback guy, man. They loved him. They loved him.
Great pick. Who you got, B.I. At number 3, if NIL deals were a thing.
Deion Sanders.
Ooh.
Gotta be Deion. Deion gotta be on the list somewhere.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
He can market himself, so yeah, that gotta be.
Okay.
Yeah, escrow was everything.
Yeah, it was.
At
He
number
came out with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
Aaron
did.
Bone.
At number 3 for me, I had to go man, these guys were special, man. I think everybody wanted to be like them. I couldn't just pick one, so I just said,
Oh,
fuck it.
you about to
The
say what I
Fab
said?
Five.
The Fab I was
The
trying to save
Fab
him.
Five.
I'm thinking ain't nobody
They
else thinking
would've-
about the
they-
whole unit, huh?
They would
It
have
was a
marketed,
Fab Five.
but that's the way they would have been
Yeah,
marketed,
yeah.
as the Fab Five.
Yep.
Hey,
I can't
I'm
believe
hungry.
this
No,
is
I'm
it.
hungry. I'm
All right.
hungry.
That's cool.
And they all walking into a Subway, or they all
Oh,
walking into a
wow.
McDonald's.
He was there.
At
You know,
number
they were-
3,
this
I
nigga
had to go with the
commercial in
Fab
my life.
Five, man.
So that's 2.
Could you imagine them
You
an
stole
NIL deal with
twice.
Foot Locker?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
You done stole twice.
Hey, that's okay. That's
That's
okay. So number 2, Hendo. If NIL deals are always a thing, top 5 college athletes who would have made the most money. Who you got at number 2?
Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq got to be somewhere on that list.
Yeah.
He was if you man, he was breaking rims then too. Man, they would. And he was. Hey, this is prime Shaq too. For the weight, I'm still jumping.
Stanley Robinson.
Dog, that nigga was crazy with the hops.
We had a really good team.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
ugly.
that nigga was a killer.
I like that's a great pick. Who you got? Number 2,
This
B.I.
is tough, man. Now I'm motherfucking digging into the bag here, man. I'm in
He
the bag.
didn't have enough shells left. He shot them all off. Pal,
Got that look.
pal, pal.
Nigga Michael Jordan, nigga. God damn it.
Oh, wow.
I got all busted up.
Oh, wow.
Hold on, man. What you talking about here? I ain't got Michelle.
Hey, what
Bang,
you
bang.
think? Do we
I
have
got all
a
the
problem here?
I like that. Number 2.
Oh, shit.
I like Michael Jordan, but I think somebody would have made far more money than him in college. Irvin. Magic Johnson.
Okay.
Everybody and their mama
Yeah.
loved Irvin.
Yeah.
Even coming out of high school, everybody
Okay.
loved Irvin. Could you imagine him at 70 with that smile?
Okay.
He would have sold everything. They would have put him on everything. So I think Irvin Magic Johnson at number 2, I think would have been the second richest college athlete if they had NIL deals.
That's a really good one.
Number 1, who you got, Hendo? Who would have made the most money if NIL deals were always a thing?
Irvin's nemesis, Larry Legend. Larry would have made so much money.
Ooh.
Larry. I go with Larry Bird. He my number 1. Larry would have made so much money if he would have stayed all the years. He was marketable. Think about how he came out there.
I would say no because Larry wouldn't be interested.
But at that point, he was, because he was trying to get money back to his mama. And that was the whole reason he rushed out of college to go into the league, because he wanted to get money back to that farm to his mom. Because his dad, something was going on with his pops or some shit, and he was trying to get money back to that farm in Indiana. That's what exactly.
He might would have did just enough, but I don't think he would have did more than Magic.
I think he would have been up there
Because that's Magic
I think they would have competed him against Magic, and I think that's what it would have made it. I think
that's a
that
good point.
they'd been the same counterpart as just that they would have been in the NBA, because that was crazy how they both worked off each other. I'm not gonna say one had more, but they had the same amount of exposure to me. Irvin was doing his own things in and out the clubs, where Larry kept it a little different. You know what I'm saying? That was the only difference. They same amount of shit talking, same amount of competing. They would have competed. I think he would have had some money.
Yeah, Magic was better. That's just my opinion.
NIL.
Number 1.
So this ain't how good you end up being. This is how good you were projected to be.
No, this is simply as a college athlete, how much money, like NIL deals, much money, like marketable wise.
Yeah.
Who do you think would number 1 athlete would have made the most money in NIL deals?
Man, I changed it up. I'm gonna go Dan Marino. I would have said Andrew Luck,
What's cool?
because Andrew Luck was just projected. The projections on that motherfucker was crazy.
And they were pretty right.
They actually were. They really were. But yeah, at the same point in time, no, I'm gonna go Dan Marino because they knew he was the shit. And
what school was that?
I have no idea. But he was drafted. He was the first one drafted out that draft between him, Kelly from Buffalo, John Elway, and somebody else. It was 4 of them. And honestly,
let's hope this shit
he was the
like
shit
that.
though. I love John Elway, man, but it's just hard to argue what the fuck Dan Marino always was.
Bro, Dan Marino was
He was always cold as a bitch. The whole time, and they knew it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Out of all them quarterbacks, they selected him first, and they was actually still right.
You think he better than Montana?
Absolutely.
Do you?
Absolutely. Him, Warren Moon, and John Elway, in my mind, are better than Joe Montana, and Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers, in my mind, is better than Tom Brady. If you put them on, if you pull and plug, if you plug this guy with that guy, arm talent wise, because you about to start talking about locker rules and mentalities and leadership qualities and all of this shit. But if we talking about throwing the ball, we talking about just looking at a motherfucker throwing the ball. I'm going. Those guys can throw the ball better than Joe Montana could. Those guys can throw the ball better than Tom Brady could.
Throw it.
Throw it. Just throw the ball.
Okay, just throw.
Just throw the ball.
Because the thing that separated
leadership.
that's the thing that separated Montana was not only leadership but his accuracy.
And Tom Brady too.
And his accuracy.
Yep.
That's the thing that separates him. His accuracy. Because same thing with Troy. Troy didn't have a cannon arm, but he was extremely accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
See, I flip it around because I give Brady the longevity award because all the motherfuckers couldn't stand and do it for that long. That man did it for a long fucking time.
But that's like saying LeBron better than Mike.
No, I give LeBron the longevity award too. That's something it is. If you can
play
Mike? The longevity award, as far as I'm not saying the best overall, the longevity award is something different. Longevity is how long you can play the game.
About something else,
when you're just being consistent for that long and doing that, that's a different that's something different. You know.
Yeah, you talking about.
When we talking about Tom Brady, man, I get major game manager vibes. I'm gonna just keep it real, like I do. Like from the beginning of his career.
20 years.
He give
I
me
give
the
LeBron
man.
that. LeBron been hooping for 20 years. It's more than that.
I mean, I've seen him be clutch. I've seen him with game-winning drives and shit too, and I know that to be him as well. But what I also know when we say long career, in my mind, he wasn't doing that his whole career.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So,
but out of the 20 years that he played, he was good half of that. That's how I can do it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, no. Just to make I get it. Just to make a.
And he won the whole thing a hell of a lot of times.
And that's what just like I said, the thing that I still give to LeBron as far as where he goes with his stats, as far as how him beating out stats, because he played in all these extra games in these postseasons, so you can build more stats. You can get a lot of guys ain't going to these postseasons like this. You understand what I'm saying?
I seen him be a game manager when his career started. I seen him get to the Super Bowl and lose because they only scored 17 points. That's on the offense. I seen in the height of his career, certain teams had his number. I know we talking about the Ravens, the all-time great Ravens, but they had that boy, man, dancing like Fred Astaire. That boy would go down so fast. Those Steelers defenses used to do the same thing to him. There were certain teams that had his number all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I can't sit up here and act like, you know what I'm saying, I didn't see that too. You know, I seen a lot of game manager. You know what I'm saying? I seen him be great. And I also seen him manage a game. And that's part of being great as a quarterback. We all know that. Every great quarterback manages a game well also. You know what I'm saying? But at the same point in time, I seen him when he was only that too. And you know what I'm saying? I love Tom Brady. I love him. Well, I don't. I like him. Same point in time, niggas I don't even like. Aaron Rodgers to me is a better passer of the ball. To be arm talent wise, just throwing the ball, I feel like it's actually undeniable, man, to be honest. And motherfucking Peyton Manning for the way he think through a damn game. We can go with Tom because he the GOAT. But same point in time, I feel like his other dudes that whatever. So my answer, Dan Marino. Let's get back to the point and shit.
I like that. Well, shit, getting back to that time, B.I. Tell these people.
Trade yourself.
Trade your goddamn self.
Already gave mine up.
Trade yourself, man. It's your first time checking us out, man. Like and subscribe. This is how we end every episode. Trade yourself. And basically, it's a nice way of saying, F you. If somebody done ticked you off, you ain't got to cuss them out. You just need to look at them straight in the face and say, you want to know what? You, sir, ma'am, you need to trade yourself. It can be your sister, it can be your brother, your husband, your wife, anybody. She say trade them all.
Trade them all.
Look at them and tell them to trade yourself. Now, around here, we normally try to keep it with sports. Brett Favre has been a reoccurring member, the welfare queen himself. Also, the coach from Denver Nuggets, what's his name?
That's your guy.
That's your man.
Mike. Yeah, I can't remember his last name.
That's your man, dog. You hate this dude for no reason at all.
Yeah, he's on here, a reoccurring member as well. But this week, Hendo, who need to trade themselves?
This week, you need to trade yourself is Steve Harvey and Cedric Entertainer, man. I just never felt like y'all motherfuckers was genuine with a lot of things. Maybe more said sometimes. But when I really look at some of the things I kind of look at, y'all need to trade yourself, man. I've watched guys come up in a short span, put on more people than these guys have ever put on. And these guys had control and enough power to help anybody. But I've seen nobody flourish underneath them. Meanwhile, I see people like Kevin Hart come through and put a belt load of people under him. Same thing with Cat. I've watched, Eddie Murphy put some guys on. I don't really see Steve and them putting nobody the fuck on. Or said. Trade yourself, man. I just feel like y'all could have did better for something. Seriously, the more Cat spoke about some things, the more I started to realize, like, damn. When have you guys ever really came to my shows and put them on, support them? You going on my tour with me? Never. You never hear that from anybody. And I don't know how these guys got put on some of these pedestals. Maybe not so much Cedric, but Steve. I think more of my qualms.
It's the acting. Once you start getting in movies that people love and shit.
I think you're right. It's the acting in general. I think he acts a different way
to us. And a lot of people watch more movies than they do stand up.
I feel like Steve has always been jealous of other comedians. I feel like he doesn't work well with other comedians, hence why a lot of his movies and successful movies are with Cedric the Entertainer, because he doesn't work well with other comedians. It's rarely that you see him with any big line names in any other movies, but yet you can see other comedians work with top-notch side by side with him and have no problem. Ego's a real thing in the comedian world. And I think Steve Harvey's been filled with a bunch of ego, and I think he's full of shit a lot of times. And I think other people have kind of let him slide on things, and when he get called out and other people start seeing it, it's going to start coming out. Because he has no real answer for these. He just dodges them. He has no... If you really clear of these crimes, come say something. But what are you going to say? I don't need to talk about any of that. You dodge it. Or go on Oprah and spit some bullshit. Let's be honest. Trade yourself. Both y'all niggas, man. Y'all know what y'all doing.
Yeah. I personally, I don't have any issue with it.
Yeah, man.
Oh, who need to trade themselves this week? Anybody that had anything bad to say about my boy Cat Williams, and anyone who didn't know that Steve Harvey had a man unit.
Yeah, you had to be.
You need to trade yourself. I remember back in the day, it used to be a rumor that he has a barber that travels everywhere with him, and this and that. And he might have some hair glue that travel with him, but there was definitely no barber traveling with him. If it was a human hair piece, my wife does hair. The hair does not grow, so there's no need to get it cut or shaped up every day.
This motherfucker, literally, I was watching stand-ups that he was doing when he lived out his car. He had a wrinkled ass suit on. He had a soft little fuzzy little curl here, and the back of his goddamn head was exposed. All of a sudden, 2-3 years later, I see this man on the Steve Harvey show. This motherfucker got more hair than any motherfucking man of his age that I've ever seen, that's more perfectly cut and lined up every goddamn time.
I ain't mad at him.
I'm not mad at him too. Fake it till you make it.
Hey,
fake it till you make it, I guess. But hey, at the end of the day, just be real with yourself. You faked it.
Hey man, I think Cali look at that shit and act like it's nothing, like getting your teeth fixed, man. Like
man, for real. But hey, you gotta pay these bills, man. If you're La Crosse, Wisconsin area, check out Press Break here on the north side, man. They got the cheesy beef, cheesy nachos, all that good stuff right next to Taco John's here on the north side. Also, King KO Car Wash. Cuz open back up this week, man. Go over there and get your car wash, detailing all that good stuff before the snow hit. They say we're supposed to be getting some snow. If we do get some, go check out Cuzzo, man. Even if we don't get any. Excuse me, even if we don't get any. Over on the cross street. Also, a breath of fresh, man. It's a new year. You want to get some new kicks. You got some old kicks that you need restored from last year. Check out a breath of fresh over in the Jackson Plaza. Our brother Folk is doing big things over there. Music, doing big things over there, as well as the Closet. Where's the Closet at? Is that Fifth and King? Yes, sir. Check out JB. JV over there at Fifth and King. Man, he got the dope kicks over there. Check the brother out. Black owned, trying to do big things, man. So, man, we appreciate you as always, y'all rocking with us. We're going to be back in the basement next Saturday, episode 82. It is a wrap. I'm your co-host, Omar, a.k.a. O'Milly, a.k.a. that dude, a.k.a. Mr. Rello. If you know, you know. And, man, another great show. We're going to be talking about some college hoops next week, also about the Natty, and, of course, tomorrow's the big game. If the Bears win, we knock the Packers out of the playoff. They can still get into the playoff. A lot of things happen, but either way, we need a win, man, against our rivals, as well as also, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's the only thing we got going on tomorrow. This the Packers, man. So, man, Happy New Year. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. I'm going to let these brothers do their outros. Old Heads, episode 82.
Yiddy. Bills, catch me in the basement. Holla.
Yes, Hendo G, man. French Loaf, a.k.a. Mr. Honey Pack, man. Shout out to Captain Kush, man. Happy New Year, man.
Captain Kush. Oh, Jay Campbell, man. Always, bro. Much love, bro. We got to have you on the show. Actually, I got something special for you, bro. So, man, keep watching, man. We out of there.
You gotta confirm. Yeah, be a whole bunch of young.
No, you good.
Let's get a whole bunch of
Oh, Millie with the stats and facts. No, really, and you know Hendo gon' tell you the truth. B.I. Mr. Info, you know what we here for? The Old Heads Podcast. Yo, we coming from Dog Shades to the team at the Barclays. The Old Heads Podcast. Yo, from Will scoring 100 to Job being 1. The Old Heads Podcast. Yo, let's go.